Jessica's here. You've fallen in love with her on Daredevil. You will see her in The Punisher, but you'll also see her as part of our cast of Defenders. Where are you? Oh, okay, well, it's all... It's good. You need to go back down that way. Yes. Take your thing and go back down that way. Perfect. And then we'll come down this way. No, we didn't do anything, Jen. Anyway, I was in the middle of introducing Deb Wall. Oh yes, we're doing that. We'll have a lot to talk about today. She broke Matt's heart, and then broke all of our hearts. Elodie plays Electra. I'm going to ask all of you, because you were so kind to me, but there's a real reason that you should ever get out of your seats. She is just the first lady of everything. Could you please stand up and give a warm welcome to Sigourney Weaver? Would very much appreciate if now you took as many pictures as you'd like and you'd hashtag them, hashtag defend. So, I think you need to. Good. I think that's super cool. Jess, you got to play Colleen Wing in Iron Fist, which was obviously a tremendous amount of fun, particularly when you were cage match fighting. And for those of you that go back and look at it, that's her in that cage. Like, she's just, we couldn't keep her on the ground. So, tell us where in Defenders where you go, because you have kind of issues.
Yeah, I mean, Colleen has really had her whole life ripped away from her at the end of Iron Fist. Yeah, sorry. Your fault. Her surrogate father, like her religion, her family, even her dojo. And so we catch up with her in Danny and then not in New York, they're somewhere else. And she really hasn't come to terms with what's happened emotionally and mentally, and she needs to move forward with her life. She needs to go through the grieving process.
But will there be more badassery from you?
Yeah, with a lot of being, awesome.
Or I guess bad buttery is what I was looking for in all age. Sorry. Deb, you've had a busy year with us, and we're so grateful. You were bouncing, literally, at some points you were shooting like Defenders in the day and going to Punisher at night. Just tell us a little bit about what that was like for you.
Yeah, it was interesting because, each time I do one of these other, it's like 3 shows now that Karen Page is on, and I reached out to Rosario because I was like, how are you doing this? But yeah, trying to keep her sort of consistent across all of the different shows, and luckily the writers have been so great and saying they want to put their kind of extra layer on it, but they really wanted me to add in, if I felt it was right, and so it's really fun to kind of keep adding on and getting everyone's input. Thank You guys
That's
rock.
wrong. Elodie, you're dead. I don't understand.
Thanks.
No spoilers for those of you that have seen Daredevil season 2. At the very end, she was put in a grave, and that would have been it. But that's not it, is it?
No, it's not, and I'm really glad that I came back to life.
Tell us about Elektra in this world, because it's not who you played before.
No,
As much as you can, I guess.
yeah. Basically, Elektra is amnesiac. She doesn't remember who she is, and she's trained by Alexandra to be some sort of a weapon. And I guess the question for my character is how much of the Elektra that we know remains. So we'll find out, I guess, in the series.
We will see. I will tell you a very short story. When we first started talking about who Alexander was going to be, Sigourney's name was mentioned, and we all let out a collective squee, because that just sounded like maybe the best idea ever. I spoke to Drew Goddard, who had worked with her before, and I said, just tell me. And he said the most accurate thing in the world, and that is, she's exactly what you want Sigourney Weaver to be. It's just a class act all the way from top to bottom, and joined our, what I always see as sort of, we're just getting by, and yet we came in and elevated it all. What was it like when you first came to the Defenders and you met all these guys?
Well, you were kind enough to introduce me to them on stage at the New York Comic-Con last fall.
Yes.
So it was very
It was the first time you actually met anyone. Literally walked on stage and met them for the first time.
And it was too late. They were stuck with me because I was already a huge fan of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and all the actors who play in those shows, as well as, by then I was already a huge fan of Marco's and Jeff's and the writing, and frankly the character of New York City. I'm a New Yorker, and I love that New York City is indeed one of the 5 Defenders. And they also offered me a part I really couldn't refuse. It's a very interesting woman, and a woman who has a lot of dealings with this lovely young lady, and their relationship is certainly one of the most unusual and interesting relationships I've ever had on screen or off. So it was just a joy to work here and work with you guys, and I really appreciate it.
And what a pleasure and what a joy to be able to watch. Finn, season 1 of Iron Fist was sort of your coming out party. It was like it was you basically it was Danny first coming back to New York, realizing that he had to figure out what his life was going to be. But we leap forward in Defenders, and you're a man on a mission now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, hi everyone, by the way. I've always thought that season 1 of Iron Fist and season 1 of Defenders was Danny's first full arc, like phase 1. And it was really nice to kind of take Danny from the beginning of Iron Fist and see him right through to the end of Defenders and see how much the character changes along the way and really grows into himself. And he's definitely inspired when he meets these other 3 people with abilities to kind of take his responsibilities with more purpose and drive. So,
And there's all kinds of kick buttery as well. Mike. and I think one of the things, I think all these people have seen you get socked in the face by Danny Rand, and I think they all know that eventually the two of you are going to become friends. But that's not what this is about, is it?
No, no. And by the way, that didn't even hurt. It didn't hurt. He hurt his hand. You know, this story is something that we knew was coming, and I think the most interesting part of the Defenders is the relationships between the people. And you know, the fight scenes are cool and everything, but because we have such clear points of view, I think when we get together on screen and we start to bounce ideas off of one another and just have what we have off camera, it's great. And so those to me are the best parts of the series. I love working with Finn, love working with Kristen over here, who we have a long history obviously, and getting a chance to work with Matt, Sigourney, you know, it was a great cast. And what was great about it as an ensemble is that we all shared the screen and we had time off and we enjoyed coming to set and we enjoyed seeing each other. And we, you know, we'll always remember that, you know.
Kristen. How you doing? You wouldn't think that Jessica Jones would be comfortable hanging out with other people that sort of fight for good. Like, she's got her own thing.
Yeah.
How did you approach it when you knew you were going to have to be in scenes like, for example, with Charlie or Matt Murdock? What was that was like? I mean, obviously you knew Luke, but Matt Murdock was a whole new fish.
Well, Jessica doesn't really want to play with others. She doesn't ask or want help. But at the end of the day, I think what we love about Jessica is that she, underneath it all, she does have a gooey inside, and she will rise to the occasion and help the little guy. So she reluctantly goes on a journey with these guys because she knows that she's valuable, because she's super strong. But she takes every opportunity to make fun of everything they're doing, and make fun of Daredevil's suit, and make fun of all of it. So I think JJ in The Defenders brings a little bit of attitude and sass and the funny.
So Charles. Charlie. Second. I can't help that. Charlie, you took the biggest risk. You were the first one. Someone had to go through the door. And it was a big risk. It was a big chance to come out and be on the first show, and you put that on your shoulders and carried it. Did you know this day was coming? Did you ever suspect that you were going to work with all these people? Obviously none of these people existed when you started.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically I did. I do remember signing a contract. And there being some vague section that mentioned the show called The Defenders, and I was, but yeah, sure, we'll get to that. And then it just kind of happened so quickly. So it's so, as you guys probably know, each year we've, with Daredevil and the other shows, we've been to New York Comic Con. So it's kind of a wonderful celebration that we get to come here to Hall H. I've heard so much about it. I've never been to San Diego, and this is our celebration.